Imagine this. One night you're ready to be intimate, but your body refuses to respond. You try again the next night and the same thing happens. The truth is, millions of men over 60 face this silent frustration, and too many believe it means the end of their vitality. But what if I told you there's a hidden switch inside your own body, a simple spot that most men ignore, and by massaging it with a natural oil, you could bring back the kind of erections you had decades ago? My name is Dr. James. I'm a urologist, a professor, and for more than 30 years I've dedicated my career to men's health, aging, and sexual vitality. I've sat across from thousands of men, fathers, husbands, grandfathers, who whisper the same fear, that they're losing their strength as a man, and I've devoted my life to showing them that it doesn't have to be this way. Here's the paradox. Most men think erections fade only because of age or testosterone. But the real secret lies not in your hormones, not in pills, but in a single overlooked muscle and pathway of blood flow deep in your pelvic floor. That's where the true power switch is hidden. And here's my promise. By stimulating this one spot with castor oil, you can relax tense muscles, improve circulation, and restore rock-hard erections, naturally, safely, and consistently. I've seen men in their 70s and 80s rediscover strength they thought was gone forever. In a moment, I'll reveal exactly where this spot is, why it works, and how just 5 minutes each night can transform your confidence and your intimate life. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear may change everything. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another men's health tip designed especially for you. And if this topic speaks to you, drop a 1 in the comments. If not, type 0, so I know how to improve and bring you even more valuable advice. Now let's begin with the first truth you need to understand. Why erections weaken as we age? Because before we talk about the powerful massage technique, you must see clearly what's really happening inside your body and why circulation, not age itself, is the real key. 1. Why erections fade with age. When I sit across from a man in his 60s or 70s, the story often begins the same way. He leans in, lowers his voice, and admits, "Doctor, I don't feel like myself anymore. Things aren't working the way they used to." I can hear the frustration in his voice. For many men, the loss of strong, dependable erections feels like losing a piece of their identity. But let me tell you something I've learned after decades of practice. It is not your age itself that steals your erections. Age is just the background. The real reasons are hidden in the way your body changes on the inside. You see, an erection is not a matter of willpower, and it's not a mystery. It is a hydraulic event. Blood rushing into the penis and staying there with enough pressure to create firmness. The moment that blood flow slows down, the moment the vessels don't open wide enough, or the muscles that hold the blood inside weaken, you begin to notice the difference. It doesn't happen all at once. It creeps in gradually. One day you last a little less time. Another day it takes longer to get firm. Eventually you wonder if you've lost the ability altogether. But this isn't fate. It's physiology. As men age, the blood vessels that feed the penis become stiffer. Decades of small injuries from high blood pressure, cholesterol, or even stress hormones begin to damage the delicate lining of those vessels. Inflammation builds up quietly, narrowing the pathways and making it harder for blood to surge in quickly. At the same time, nitric oxide, the key chemical signal that tells your arteries to relax and allow blood to flow, begins to decline. By the time most men reach their 60s, their bodies are making half as much nitric oxide as they did in their 20s. That's like trying to water your lawn with a hose that barely drips. It just doesn't work. Then there are the pelvic floor muscles. These are the hidden gatekeepers of your erections. They are supposed to contract and trap the blood inside the penis so it stays rigid. But when those muscles weaken, blood leaks out too quickly. What should have been a firm, lasting erection instead fades away before you're ready. And let's not forget stress. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is like a thief in the night. It robs your body of sexual energy, diverts blood flow away from your pelvis, and replaces desire with anxiety. If you've ever found yourself distracted, worried, or restless in the bedroom, you know exactly what I mean. I remember one patient, a 71-year-old grandfather, who told me he felt ashamed because he couldn't keep up with his wife's desire. He thought he was too old, that it was simply nature telling him to stop. But when we dug deeper, it wasn't age that was stopping him. It was clogged arteries, weak muscles, and too much pressure from stress. Once he began to address those, his confidence came rushing back. His words still stick with me. I thought I was finished, but now I feel like I've been given a second chance. That is why I say, don't blame age. Age is not the villain here. The real issue is blood flow, vessel health, muscle strength, and balance within your body. And the encouraging truth is that all of these can be improved even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. You're not broken. You just need to give your body the right tools. So if weak erections are not simply a product of getting older, then where exactly is the hidden switch? Where in your body can you unlock stronger circulation, relax those tight muscles, and finally bring back the rigidity you've been missing? Let me show you the surprising power spot most men never think about, yet it holds the key to your erections. 2. The hidden power spot, the perineum. Over the years, I've had countless men come into my office convinced their problem lies only in the penis itself. They'll say, "Doctor, something is wrong down there, it just doesn't work anymore." And while I understand why they think that way, I often have to pause, lean in, and explain a surprising truth. The strength of your erection is not just about the organ you see. The real switch, the real control center, lies in a small, often ignored spot just beneath you, the perineum. Now, the perineum might sound like a technical term, but every man knows where it is. It's the small patch of skin and muscle between the anus and the base of the scrotum. You don't see it, you don't think about it, and most men never touch it, yet it is one of the most powerful gateways to your sexual vitality. Hidden underneath that little area is a network of nerves, arteries, and muscles that work together like the engine room of your erections. If the penis is the ship sailing forward, then the perineum is the engine below deck keeping everything running. Let me break this down in a way that makes sense. Inside the perineum runs the pudendal nerve, which carries the electrical signal from your brain to the penis. When you feel aroused, that's the nerve telling your body to let blood in and make things happen. Alongside it runs the pudendal artery, which delivers fresh, oxygen-rich blood directly into the erectile tissue. And wrapped around it all are the pelvic floor muscles, those hidden muscles that act like a dam, holding the blood inside so your erection doesn't collapse. In other words, the perineum is not some unimportant patch of skin, it's the control hub. If that hub is weak, tight, or inflamed, everything else above it struggles. I recall one man in his late 60s who was absolutely convinced he needed surgery. He told me, "Doctor, I think my penis is broken. Nothing helps anymore," but when I examined him, I found that his pelvic floor was tense, his circulation through the perineum was sluggish, and his muscles were exhausted. Instead of surgery, I taught him how to focus on this hidden power spot. With time and consistency, his strength returned, and he later admitted, almost in disbelief, "I never thought rubbing a place I'd ignored my whole life could make me feel 20 years younger." That's the emotional piece of this. Too many men feel powerless because they don't know where the true power lies. They focus only on the obvious when the secret sits quietly underneath. Once you understand the role of the perineum, it's like someone hands you the keys you never knew were missing. And I can tell you from years of practice, when men learn to target and care for this spot, their confidence grows as quickly as their physical strength. The perineum is the foundation. It is the gateway where nerve signals, blood flow, and muscle control meet. When it is healthy, relaxed, and well stimulated, it becomes the fuel line to your erections. And here's the most exciting part. You don't need expensive treatments or risky surgeries to activate it. You can do it naturally, in the privacy of your own home, with nothing more than your own hands and a simple oil. So the question becomes, why oil, and why castor oil in particular? What is it about this ancient natural remedy that makes it so powerful for circulation and healing? In just a moment, I'll show you why this thick golden oil has been trusted for centuries and why it may be the missing piece that unlocks your strength again. 3. Why castor oil? When I first mention castor oil to my patients, I usually see the same reaction: a raised eyebrow, maybe a chuckle, sometimes even disbelief. Many remember their mothers or grandmothers keeping a bottle in the cabinet, using it as an old-fashioned remedy for constipation or skin problems. The idea that this same oil could hold the key to stronger erections seems almost too simple, even laughable. But I assure you, after decades of studying men's health, I've learned that nature often hides its most powerful tools in plain sight. Castor oil is one of those tools. So why castor oil? What makes it so unique compared to olive oil, coconut oil, or any other natural oil? The answer lies in a special compound called ricinoleic acid. This fatty acid is found almost exclusively in castor oil, and it is the reason this oil has been used for centuries across cultures as a healing agent. Ricinoleic acid has 3 incredible properties that make it perfect for men's sexual health. First, it stimulates circulation. When applied to the skin, it penetrates deep into the tissues, encouraging blood flow exactly where you need it most. Second, it reduces inflammation. Over time, the tiny vessels and muscles in the pelvic region can become irritated, tight, and inflamed, cutting off circulation. Castor oil calms this fire. Third, it has a unique ability to soak deeply into the skin and tissues far beyond the surface, which means it doesn't just sit on top, it actually reaches the muscles and vessels below. I remember one patient in his 70s who laughed out loud when I first suggested castor oil massage. He told me, "Doc, I've tried every supplement, every pill, even injections. You expect me to believe this kitchen oil will do the trick?" But he was desperate, and he agreed to give it a chance. 2 months later, he returned to my office with a look I'll never forget. He sat down, leaned forward, and whispered, "I can't explain it, but I'm firm again, firmer than I've been in years." That moment reminded me why I trust natural therapies as much as modern medicine. Sometimes the simplest remedies carry the deepest wisdom. There is also an emotional layer to this. When you apply castor oil in a nightly ritual, you are not just treating your body, you are taking time for yourself, honoring your health, and reclaiming control. For many men, the act of slowing down, massaging with intention, and allowing the body to relax is as powerful as the oil itself. It creates a moment of connection with your own vitality. In our rushed, stressful lives, that moment is rare, but it's in those moments that the body begins to heal. Castor oil also has a long tradition in holistic medicine. Ancient cultures used it to heal wounds, soothe inflammation, and restore balance in the body. Today, modern research supports what our ancestors already knew, that this oil improves blood flow, reduces swelling, and helps tissues recover. For a man struggling with weak erections, those are exactly the things standing in the way of firmness and strength. It isn't magic, it's biology. And by using castor oil, you are giving your body what it needs to function as it was designed. Now, let's be clear. Castor oil is not a one-time miracle. It's not a pill you pop and expect instant results. It works through consistency. Night after night, as you massage it into that hidden power spot, you gradually wake up the circulation, relax the tension, and retrain your body. With time, you begin to feel the difference: more warmth in the area, more sensitivity, and eventually firmer and more reliable erections. The beauty of this approach is its simplicity. No side effects, no prescriptions, no embarrassing trips to the pharmacy. Just a bottle of castor oil, your own 2 hands, and a few minutes each night dedicated to your health. Gentlemen, sometimes the path back to strength is not through complexity, but through rediscovering what nature has already given us. Now that you understand why castor oil is the perfect ally, the next question is how? How exactly do you use it? Where do you start? How much do you apply? And what's the right technique to unlock its full potential? In just a moment, I'll walk you step by step through the exact massage routine I teach my own patients, so you can begin this transformation for yourself. 4. Step-by-step massage routine. Now that you know why the perineum matters and why castor oil is the perfect tool, let's talk about the part that so many of my patients lean forward to hear: the routine itself. I want you to picture this not as some complicated medical process, but as a simple nightly ritual. one that takes just a few minutes yet can bring back a sense of strength and confidence you thought was lost. I've guided many men through these steps, and when they return to me weeks later, they often describe it not only as physically effective, but deeply calming, almost like rediscovering a piece of themselves. The best time to do this massage is at night before bed. By then, the day's responsibilities are behind you and your body is ready to settle into rest. That matters because when your body is calm, it is far more responsive to the stimulation and healing this massage provides. Find a quiet space where you won't be interrupted. Some men prefer lying on their back with their knees bent, while others feel comfortable sitting in a chair and leaning slightly forward. The position doesn't matter as much as the comfort. Your body should feel relaxed, not tense. Start with a small amount of high-quality, cold-pressed castor oil. A teaspoon is usually enough because this oil is thick and rich, and a little goes a long way. Warm it between your fingers, then gently apply it to the perineum, the area between your anus and the base of your scrotum. At first, it may feel strange to pay attention to a place you've ignored for years, but stay with it. This is where the hidden power lies, and it deserves your focus. Begin with slow, circular movements. Let your fingertips press gently but firmly, creating warmth in the tissue. Imagine you are waking up the nerves and blood vessels beneath the surface. Spend a minute or two simply getting the oil absorbed, allowing the skin to soften and the muscles beneath to release their tension. As you do this, take slow, deep breaths. Inhale through your nose, fill your lungs, and exhale fully. With every breath, you are telling your body it's safe to relax. It's safe to heal. Once the area feels warmed and relaxed, move into the second phase of the massage. Using your fingertips or even the heel of your hand, apply gentle pressure in a forward direction, starting from the base of the anus and moving slowly toward the scrotum. Count to 5 as you make each stroke, then release. Repeat this motion several times, each time encouraging blood to flow forward through those vital vessels. This is not about rushing, it's about rhythm, consistency, and intention. You're not just rubbing skin, you're stimulating circulation, easing tight muscles, and signaling your body to restore its natural function. The entire process should take no more than 5 to 7 minutes. Think of it as giving yourself a gift of health at the end of the day. Many men tell me that within weeks they notice subtle changes. More warmth in the area, a quicker response when aroused, a firmness that feels more reliable. These are signs that the body is waking up, that circulation is improving, and that the perineum is regaining its strength as the true engine of your erection. What I love most about this routine is that it's not only physical, it's emotional. By committing to this nightly ritual, you are reclaiming control. You are saying to yourself, I am not powerless. I can improve. I can feel strong again. That mindset is as healing as the massage itself because confidence and vitality always go hand in hand. Now, some men ask me if there's a way to make this even stronger to add an extra layer of circulation and energy to the massage. The answer is yes, and it lies in combining castor oil with a few carefully chosen essential oils. In the next section, I'll explain which ones I recommend, why they matter, and how they can take this simple massage and transform it into a powerhouse routine for rock-hard erections. 5. Supercharging with essential oils, optional. When I first teach men about the castor oil massage, many are amazed at how such a simple routine can make such a noticeable difference. But there are always a few who lean in and ask me quietly, Doctor, is there any way to make this even stronger? To speed up the process? And the truth is, yes, there is. While castor oil alone is a powerful healer, you can unlock an entirely new level of effectiveness by blending it with a few carefully chosen essential oils. Think of it like adding rocket fuel to an engine that's already running. The massage works on its own, but with the right allies, it becomes even more powerful. The first oil I often recommend is cinnamon bark essential oil. Now, I want you to imagine what happens when you bite into a piece of cinnamon candy. You feel that gentle warmth spreading across your tongue. That same effect happens when cinnamon is applied in small, diluted amounts to the skin. The warmth you feel is the cinnamon encouraging your blood vessels to open, a process we call vasodilation. For a man trying to restore firmness, this is exactly what we want. Just 1 or 2 drops mixed into your castor oil can create a warming sensation in the perineum, gently coaxing those tiny arteries to relax and deliver more blood where it matters most. I've had men tell me they were skeptical at first, but once they felt that subtle heat and noticed the improvement in responsiveness, they were convinced. Another favorite of mine is rosemary essential oil. This one works a little differently. Where cinnamon focuses on circulation, rosemary also supports the nerves. Erections don't begin in the body, they begin in the brain. That spark of arousal travels through the pudendal nerve, down into the pelvic floor, and into the penis. If those pathways are sluggish, the response is weak. Rosemary has long been valued for its ability to stimulate and support nerve health. It also protects the delicate lining of your blood vessels with its antioxidant properties, reducing the damage that builds up over the years. When men add rosemary into their nightly routine, they often describe not just firmer erections, but also more sensation and a stronger connection between mind and body. And then there's ginger essential oil, perhaps the most invigorating of them all. Ginger has been used for centuries as a natural stimulant. Applied topically, it brings a deep internal heat that can feel more powerful than cinnamon. That heat isn't just a sensation, it's circulation being pushed deeper into the tissues. Ginger is also a strong anti-inflammatory, helping to calm the hidden swelling that often restricts blood flow as men age. For men who crave a more energizing, almost awakening effect from their massage, ginger can be the perfect addition. Now, I must pause to remind you of something important. Essential oils are potent, far too strong to be applied directly to the skin. They must always be diluted. That's where castor oil once again proves its worth. Its thick, rich texture makes it the perfect carrier oil, blending smoothly with just a drop or two of essential oil. Always test a small patch of skin first and listen to your body. The goal is stimulation, not irritation. A slight warmth is good, but burning or discomfort means you've used too much. What I find remarkable about this step is not just the physical boost, but the emotional one. When men take the time to prepare this blend, they tell me it feels like creating their own medicine. It becomes more than a routine, it's a ritual, an act of self-care, a signal to the body that says, I am investing in my strength. That kind of intention adds to the results because you are engaging both body and mind in the process. With consistency, this simple blend of castor oil and essential oils can transform your nightly massage into a therapy that strengthens circulation, awakens the nerves, and restores vitality at a pace you can feel. And once you start noticing those changes, the natural question becomes, how do you make sure those improvements last? Because as powerful as massage is, lasting strength comes from what you do on the inside every single day. That's why in the next section, I'll share the 3 internal pillars that every man must follow to build a foundation for reliable, rock-hard erections well into his later years. 6. The 3 internal pillars for lasting erections. Up until now, we've been talking about what you can do on the outside: massage, circulation, relaxation, and stimulation. And make no mistake, those practices can awaken a part of your body that's been neglected for far too long. But if you want results that last, if you want erections that feel reliable month after month, year after year, you must address what's happening on the inside. This is where so many men fall short. They try the oils, they try the pills, they try every gadget under the sun, but they forget the foundation. Without a strong foundation, nothing else holds. That's why I always tell my patients, true male vitality rests on 3 internal pillars: nitric oxide production, pelvic floor strength, and an anti-inflammatory lifestyle. Let's begin with nitric oxide. This is not just a scientific buzzword, it's the very molecule that makes an erection possible. When you're aroused, nitric oxide signals your blood vessels to open wide, allowing blood to surge into the penis. Without it, nothing happens. The problem is, as we age, our bodies naturally produce less nitric oxide. But here's the good news. You can feed your body what it needs to make more. Beets, beetroot juice, watermelon, spinach, arugula. These foods are not only delicious, they are natural vasodilators. I can't tell you how many men in their 60s and 70s have told me that just a daily glass of beetroot juice completely changed their performance. It's nature's way of saying, I've already given you the medicine, you just have to eat it. The second pillar is pelvic floor strength. I cannot emphasize this enough. Think of your pelvic floor muscles as the gatekeepers of your erection. When they are weak, blood slips away too quickly, leaving you frustrated and embarrassed. But when they are strong, they act like a clamp, holding the blood in place, creating rigidity and staying power. Kegel exercises, yes, the same ones women do, are a man's secret weapon. It's as simple as tightening the muscles you use to stop urination, holding for a few seconds, and then releasing. Do that in sets, a few times a day, and within weeks you'll feel the difference. I once had a patient who told me he did them in his car at red lights, and he swore that practice alone gave him a confidence he hadn't felt in years. And then we come to the third pillar, the anti-inflammatory lifestyle. Gentlemen, this is where the battle for your erections is truly won or lost. Inflammation is the silent enemy of your blood vessels. It narrows them, stiffens them, and makes it harder for blood to flow freely. If you're eating processed foods, sitting for hours on end, drowning in stress, you're creating a perfect storm for erectile dysfunction. But the reverse is also true. By moving your body daily, by eating omega-3 rich foods like salmon, flax, or walnuts, by practicing stress management through deep breathing or meditation, you can reduce inflammation and restore vitality. I often tell my patients, your penis is a mirror of your lifestyle. If you nourish your body, move your muscles, and calm your mind, that mirror reflects strength. These three pillars are not optional. They are essential. Massage alone will help, but it's like building a house on sand if you ignore what's happening inside your body. When you combine the external massage with these internal supports, that's when the real magic happens. I've seen men in their 70s who were ready to give up, who believed their best days were behind them, suddenly rediscover passion and power because they committed to these simple, natural principles. Now we've covered the external, we've covered the internal, but there's still one final piece. And it's not about biology, it's about something deeper, something that connects your health to your very sense of self as a man. In the next section, I'm going to share the emotional truth behind this journey and why your mindset may be the most powerful medicine of all. 7. Beyond the body, the emotional key to male vitality. When men come into my office, they often expect me to focus solely on their bodies. Blood flow, hormones, nerves, exercises, diet, and yes, those things matter. They matter more than most men realize. But after more than 30 years of treating men of all ages, I can tell you this with complete certainty. Erections are not just about the body. They are about the mind, the heart, and the spirit of a man. Without addressing the emotional side, all the oils, exercises, and supplements in the world will fall short. I've sat across from men in their 60s and 70s who have tried every medical option available. Pills, pumps, injections, even surgery, yet they still struggle. Not always because their bodies can't respond, but because inside they feel defeated. They've convinced themselves they are too old, that passion belongs to their younger years, that intimacy is no longer part of their future. That belief alone kills more erections than clogged arteries ever could. Confidence is not just an accessory, it's the foundation. A man who believes he is capable, desirable, and strong will almost always perform better than a man who has given up hope. I'll never forget a patient in his late 60s who told me he hadn't been intimate with his wife for almost 2 years. He came in asking about medications, but as we spoke, I realized the problem wasn't only physical. His words revealed something deeper: shame, embarrassment, and fear of failure. I asked him a simple question: do you still want intimacy, or have you convinced yourself it's gone? He paused, looked down, and whispered, "I want it, but I don't believe I can have it." That belief had been paralyzing him. We worked not only on his physical health, yes, I taught him the castor oil massage, yes, we adjusted his diet and exercises, but we also worked on rebuilding his confidence. Within months, he returned with tears in his eyes, telling me he and his wife were holding each other again, laughing again, rediscovering what they thought they had lost. That moment reminded me that intimacy is about so much more than blood flow. It is about connection, trust, and allowing yourself to feel worthy of love and pleasure. You see, your body follows your mind. If your mind is filled with doubt, anxiety, and fear, your body responds with tension and hesitation. Erections cannot thrive in that environment. They require calm, confidence, and emotional openness. That's why I often recommend pairing the physical massage with deep breathing, mindfulness, or even simply taking a moment to focus on gratitude. These practices put your body in what we call the parasympathetic state, the rest and digest mode. It is only in that state that your body allows full arousal. It's a simple truth. Stress kills erections, but calm brings them back. There's also something profoundly healing about reclaiming your identity as a man. Many men tell me that when they struggle in the bedroom, they feel less masculine, less whole. But that is a lie society feeds us. Your masculinity is not defined by a single act or performance. It is defined by how you care for yourself, how you connect with your partner, and how you choose to live with vitality. When you take the steps we've talked about, caring for your circulation, strengthening your pelvic floor, massaging with castor oil, fueling your body with the right foods, you are not just fixing a physical problem. You are reclaiming your dignity, your confidence, and your joy. And here's the most important part. Intimacy at 60, 70, even 80 can be deeper and more meaningful than it ever was at 20. Because now it's not just about physical release, it's about closeness, about celebrating a lifetime of love, and about proving to yourself that vitality doesn't fade with age. When you embrace this mindset, every technique we've discussed becomes even more effective, because you are engaging your body with belief instead of doubt. So remember this, your erections are not just a reflection of your body, they are a reflection of your entire self. When you combine the physical steps with emotional strength, you unlock the full power of your manhood. And that leads us to the final and perhaps most important message I want to leave you with. Because while the castor oil massage and the 3 internal pillars are powerful, there is one truth about aging, health, and intimacy that ties it all together, and it may just change the way you look at your future forever. Conclusion. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to pause and truly take in what we've covered. We started by uncovering the real reason erections weaken with age, not because you've lost your manhood, but because circulation, hormones, and lifestyle slowly shift. Then we revealed the hidden power spot, the perineum, and how a simple nightly massage with castor oil can awaken blood flow and strength you thought was gone forever. We explored why castor oil is so unique, walked through the exact massage routine, and even learned how to supercharge it with essential oils like cinnamon, rosemary, and ginger. And of course, we reinforced the 3 internal pillars, boosting nitric oxide through the right foods, building pelvic floor strength, and fighting inflammation through lifestyle choices. Finally, we reminded ourselves that intimacy isn't just physical, it's emotional. It's about confidence, connection, and reclaiming your true self as a man. Gentlemen, I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s transform their lives by embracing these steps. You are never too old to feel strong, capable, and alive. Commit to this routine, honor your health, and you'll discover that vitality doesn't fade with age. It grows when you nurture it. Your best years of passion and connection can still be ahead of you.